Here we go. What's up, brother?
My man, what's good?
We got Anthony Sinatra here, a former professional boxer
And
Muay Thai fighter.
Correct.
So we can't say Muay Thai boxer. We got
No.
to say Muay Thai fighter.
That's kind of, it's insulting a little. They take that exception to that. It's Muay Thai fighter because it's the warrior aspect that they have. You know, boxers to them is a Western thing.
Yeah, and it's a well, both of them are arts.
Science.
Science, yeah.
The sweet
yeah,
science.
The sweet science.
The sweet science, as they say.
Huh. Well, how did your story start with getting into Muay Thai? I'm interested in that.
Well, you
Because
know,
I see, for those of you that don't know, Anthony boxes at the club I box at, and when I came in, I go, oh yeah, he knows what he's doing. As soon as I saw you hit the bags, I was like, he's done this before.
yeah.
To what level I didn't know, and then I found out.
Yeah, so I amassed in Pittsburgh. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And in the early 90s, I had roughly 68 amateur fights.
Okay.
Real interesting story. I'm going to take you back. So 1992, I had an uncle who was in Vietnam, was in the Navy, was a boxer, and was always talking about boxing, gives me tips. And being an Italian American, I was mesmerized by Rocky, the story of Rocky.
Sure.
Every little Italian kid from
Right,
Pittsburgh, Philadelphia area was Rocky Balboa. So he would show me tips of what he did when he boxed when he was in the military. And I said, well, at that point, I think I was around 14 or 15.
When you started your amateur?
When I started getting
into boxing. Okay.
Journey. I had wrestled in 8th grade and played football and whatnot. And, obviously football in Pittsburgh is huge.
Huge.
So he took me to a gym in the city of Pittsburgh, and I didn't know at the time I was met to a Hall of Fame boxing trainer who was an Italian guy, and he actually was reminiscent to Mickey.
Oh no!
Honest to God, he was a truck driver, in his regular job. But he was about 70 when I met him, probably 5'4", but would.
And here the whole time you're going, I'm gonna be Rocky Balboa.
Absolutely. You're Italian.
I got my Mickey.
I'd love to train you. He was the guy that when I came back to the corner, he'd slap me in the face. What the hell are you doing? What's wrong with you? He was that guy. But I was lucky because he took to me because I was Italian, and he had 2 professional fighters under his belt who were Italian, very, very good fighters, and he actually was inducted into the Hall of Fame a little while back.
No kidding.
This gentleman.
What was his name again?
His name was Tony Tarantino.
Okay. Yes.
So,
definitely Italian.
Yeah, and he was like 5'4", very tough guy. But we're talking Harry Greb type, Billy Conn fighters from the Pittsburgh area, very historic guys, and his lineage was from that tree, which was technically, as you know, from a fighting standpoint, was super sound and just ridiculous. And at the same time, as I mentioned to you earlier when we were off the air, in my neighborhood there was a kid named Paul Spadafora who turned out, fast forward, was the IBF lightweight champion in the world.
Yeah.
So we trained at the same gym. A lot of the people that I ran around with my neighborhood were gravitated towards boxing. So from 92 to roughly 96, I was all about Western boxing. And then upon high school graduation, I met a gentleman by the name of Eric Hibbler. Now, Eric fought Jens Pulver in the UFC.
Oh, yeah,
to give you a little bit of background. Eric was a contractor for he trained the air marshals, helped train the SEALs. So his lineage was, he had trained with Danny Inosanto, who trained with Bruce Lee.
Okay.
So I was introduced, I had a crash course at that point when I graduated high school. I kind of veered off the path of Western boxing because I had been introduced to this guy named Eric. And he said, listen, come to my gym. There was a gym called the Pittsburgh Fight Club. But originally it was out of his garage. Let me introduce you to how I do things. So he goes, let's spar. So, I'm boxing.
Yeah.
This guy starts kicking me. Joint locks, wrist locks, jiu-jitsu, Chinese boxing, Wing Chun.
Oh, so here's full MMA.
Full MMA.
Okay.
Fully versed, a heavy background on Wing Chun and Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah.
Which was
Bruce Lee.
And Muay Thai. And he said, listen, your hands are really slick. I can teach you to do this. Because, he beat the crap out of me for 2 rounds. And I said, okay. I want to learn. Because at that point, you have to remember the UFC had just been.
Oh yeah, that was like number one
but
for the
it
first
was,
year.
But it was super taboo, so like
Yeah.
we had to do it in the garage, and people weren't sure, and they thought it was like cockfights for human beings.
Right, right.
So I was super interested, and he really opened my eyes to the philosophy. Like when you come from a traditional schooling of boxing, there's only one right way and one wrong way. That's the way I was taught because I was a kid. I was impressionable. It opened my eyes to, hey, listen, whatever works in there. Like, I don't have to just throw a left hook this way to knock this guy out.
Right.
I can come over the top. I can throw my elbow. I can pick him up and scoop him. So at that point, that journey, as we martial artists and fighters talk about our journey began. I mean, we went to Bangkok. We went to the Philippines to study Kali, stick and knife fighting.
Eskrima?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. I'm versed. I can teach all this. I mean, so from 95, 96 to 2007, I mean, I was with him multiple times a week. I worked at his gym. And a lot of the guys that we came up with have gyms now in the Pittsburgh area doing the same thing.
Their own gyms.
So they had, you have to picture this tree of Eric, and, there's offshoots of all these really good trainers, and some of the stuff we were taught is just, and the techniques.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, I'm like, hey, I learned that 20 years ago.
Right, right.
So, that journey to me had opened my eyes, not only internationally, but to what works, but the difference between the styles in fighting and really how it translates to life. I mean, it changes your outlook.
Yeah, it does. You often hear that in martial arts, the whole translation, adversity.
Overcoming.
Thinking, how you think.
Yes.
What you said you went to Bangkok.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, when we first went, there was a group of us.
So you went as a team?
Yeah, there was a team of us. Eric didn't go, the original trainer. There was a group of us decided we want to go train at, I think at the time, it was called the Panther Gym, which turned out to be the Fairtex Gym. Now, we're going late 90s. We're going way back. It was surreal.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, because you picture gyms in the United States like we train at.
Right, right.
We're going to a shell of a metal building in the jungle with no air conditioning, heat.
Kicking trees.
Palm tree. And that's legit. I mean, you see this thing, that stuff really goes on. But for us, it was bags of sand, hard packed sand. And then when you're done for 2 hours, you lay on the ground, they have bamboo sticks, and they roll them across your shins to kill the nerve endings.
No kidding.
And we're talking 10 years old and up.
Yeah.
Over there ripping kicks.
Yeah.
So we spent, the first time, we spent 2 months there. And, we went.
That's quite a while. That's quite a while.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
But our dollar at that point, it's the baht. It was, I mean, we could,
It was good at that time.
Very,
yeah,
very
yeah.
good over there.
The 90s, yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very good. So we entered in after the first month. The guy that ran the gym said his name was Chai. Now I got to tell you a story about Chai.
I'd love to hear it. I got a feeling it's good.
Now Chai, we're over there. We had been training with a UFC guy. We had really thought we had reached the pinnacle of our MMA martial arts training, and he slaps honey on the bag. All these flies fly in the bag. Now, I thought this is something out of a movie. He starts tie kicking flies right up. Bang! As soon as the flies would hit the bag, kick him on the bag. So at that point, I'm like, okay, there's something to this. So Chai was shorter than Tony, my first trainer, but was a really, really, really sound traditionalist of that art. But for one of his drills, he would put honey in a bag and attract insects and try to kick them off before they would move.
Oh my goodness!
So at that point, I was mesmerized.
Wax on, wax off.
Yeah, it was mystifying. It wasn't quite that. It wasn't quite that cinemesque, but it was good. So at that point we had 2 fights each. He got us into professional fights there, and the sanctioning in Thailand in the late 90s.
Much to be desired.
It wasn't as official as it is.
There's no commission.
No, the guy, the medical staff was like a house mom with a first aid kit. So God forbid. But I mean,
you get a Anderson Silva injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a baby aspirin and a Band-Aid.
We'll put a couple palm tree leaves together.
So it was, the biggest thing that we took away from that, and what's changed in Thai, as you can attest to now, is when we were there, their hands, boxing weren't good. So all we had to do would be break range, and then we could beat them up boxing inside. But now that they have transitioned, they're good with their hands now.
Yeah, they are.
So they're more complete than they were then. And I think a lot of the Western exposure of the fighters trying to learn what they've taught.
They were exposed.
Right. But if you remember back in around that time frame, Rick Rufus fought the Thai guy, the Expedition.
Yeah, the Jet.
So, I mean, United States kickboxing was exposed against the Thai guy.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly,
didn't he get his leg just beat up?
What happened? He knocked the guy down with a spinning back fist in the first round, and he's putting his arms up, and we told you that Thai stuff was no good, but the Thai guy kept coming and kept chopping.
Yeah, he did.
He kept chopping that post leg.
Yes, he did. And I remember that fight.
He couldn't walk.
Yeah, because Duke was in the corner.
That's right.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So take me back.
Yes.
He was something else, though. I mean, he fought a Thai guy. A well-trained Thai guy, but Rick was the stuff.
He was a stud.
Yeah.
I mean, he could really throw his hands, but the thing is, it was really the first time that we had exposure to what they do over there.
And then Duke.
Then they went.
Duke got turned on,
and they went over there and trained.
Yes, and that's why he is who he is today.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I wonder what Rick's up to.
Yeah.
I know. Last time I heard, he was in Arizona. I thought he was in Arizona.
It was either Arizona or Los Angeles, from what I heard.
I know he wanted to fight in the UFC or something.
He did fight in the UFC.
He did?
Rick did.
He did?
He did fight in the UFC.
I didn't know that.
He fought in one of the early ones.
Really?
And when Hoist was in there and Chemo.
Oh, you're talking when it first came up.
Yeah, he fought maybe in UFC 4 or 5. Don't quote me, but I remember seeing him fight.
Okay.
But that was much after the exposure to getting throttled by that Thai guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch the video, he couldn't walk.
No, I don't see how he could.
But he still answered the bell.
Yeah.
In 12.
Yeah, he did.
He answered the bell, and he went out, and he, the guy just knew he was chopping that post leg down from.
It was almost pain. It was painful to watch because I'm like, every time. I mean,
for those of you, you know better than anyone. When you get struck by a Thai kick, it knocks. You remember when you're little and you slam your fingers in a door and you lose your breath and you can't talk and you cry and then you go silent. And then it cuts. It's that kind of pain. It knocks. We used to say it knocks the paws into your butt.
Dude, I got a story for you, man. I was at a karate school at the time, and my instructor called me up on a Saturday morning to come spar with a guy who's going to go pro MMA. And, traditional karate, you're not seeing the Muay Thai stuff.
No.
He had me come in. I was hungover. So I'm like, why don't you spar him? That was my first thought. But it was my instructor.
Right.
Yes, sir. I'll be there in a second. Let me get my clothes on, my gear. I'm down there. I'm sweating alcohol, the whole thing. And this guy was a 22-year-old rugby player who's going MMA. He was pretty.
They're really tough guys.
Yeah, he was pretty tough. And we were just boxing, filling each other out. And he threw one Muay Thai strike kick with his leg, and it wrapped around my hip and into my back glute area.
Oh.
Now, he hit me there, and I've never felt it there. I felt it on my quad,
right,
but not there. And I swear to God, my back end opened up like fire. I thought I was going to lose control of my bowels. It hurt so bad, dude. I'm not kidding. I thought, what in... It was pain. It was pain, and it felt like fire, opening up like the Red Sea was about to part. And I'm like, oh, no. I went down.
It's the
worst
went
down.
Pain. I can't... See, I had... My first pain that was bad was the quad pain. Mm-hmm. So my first exposure was Eric. That first initial sparring, he's like, we're going to kick a little bit. So, he bladed his shin right on, because as a boxer...
Yeah, those are painful.
You're heavy on your rear foot,
yep.
right? So he chopped my front leg, and I couldn't breathe. Literally, for a good 15 seconds. And when you're trying to spar someone and
Yes.
it's just,
Yeah, you can't even think.
you can't think.
No. I've watched fights with some guys that have never been struck before, either with a punch or a kick. And we're watching UFC. And you see these guys throwing kicks at the quad, at the calf. Especially now they're going after the calves.
Calf, yeah.
And, these guys are like, why doesn't he just do this? Why? I'm like, have you ever felt that knife before?
And that's
you have
the knife. That's what it
you,
feels like.
You have no idea how that feels unless you've actually experienced it. You can't sit here and go, that guy needs to do this or that guy needs to do that. You have to go through it.
Well, and it looks so easy when,
Yes.
when you're on TV. Like, oh, I can stand there. It's different when you're standing in line of fire and there's real fists flying at your face. And I mean, the funniest story is we had a guy at one of the gyms we worked at in Pittsburgh. He was a former professional football player, right? I want to get into pro boxing. Tough guy, right? Mm-hmm. We won't name him.
Good.
But he came into the gym. He said, I want to spar. I want to be a heavyweight fighter. I can beat the heavyweights out there. Well, you're talking about a man that was probably 250, 260, probably
Back then?
Yeah, back
that's
then.
a pretty big boy.
Yeah, but almost as tall as you. Played end. We hit him. He got hit in the liver.
Oh.
Now, you guys, there's a delay.
Yeah, there is.
There's a delay.
It's like an electrical current.
But it's like someone sticks a cord in the back of your neck and turns on electricity. Because I can remember, I'll tell you the story after this, the first time I took a liver shot. But, he has his hands up, he's running, and our heavyweight hits him in the liver. He's still dancing. And then 7-8 seconds later.
Really? That long?
Yeah, he's dancing around, and then he just falls. And he was on the ground for a good 15 or 16 minutes. And needless to say, his boxing career began and ended in the same day.
Plan A went to Plan B real quick.
Mike Tyson has the same thing. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
And it's
very true.
very, very true story. So the first time, I'm either fighting in West Virginia or Ohio at the time at a state fair. It's outside. Okay, so it's humid. These are amateur fights. Now, I'm 16 or 17. I'm fighting a guy that just comes out of a work van that was a plumber. Okay? I'm scared to death. I go to my trainer, Tony. He's a grown man. What are you worried about getting in there and fighting him? He didn't have any sympathy for me. So,
Get in there.
What are you scared of? I've trained you to, So you get in there, and I'm jabbing him. I'm keeping on the outside, and, I'm still... At 16 or 17, you still haven't really...
Yeah.
You don't have the man muscles.
No.
This guy had what I call dad strength.
Yeah.
There's man strength, kid strength, and then when you're a father, you have dad strength. It's superhuman.
Yeah, it's like farmer strength.
Exactly. So I get in there, and it's humid, and I slip. I slip his right hand, and I slip his left hand, and he lands a shot right above my liver. But then... I was going to hit him, and I went, and it was like your first time on a roller coaster when you're scared.
These are good analogies. Yeah, right.
You're like that, and it was just it's that wave of fear and panic.
Yeah.
And then, the toughest thing is not taking a shot, as you know, as a fighter. It's getting up and
then have to go through it.
And then I had to go two more, that was enough.
While you're hurting.
And 2 more rounds. And the one thing I love about boxing, and all jokes aside, analogies aside, is it teaches you life lessons.
Oh, yeah.
To answer that bell.
Yeah.
Get up. And it, the journey of MMA and Muay Thai transcends life for me. So you learn that there's no right way or wrong way. It's what works.
Yeah.
What works for you. And life is about a series of knockdowns, but it's real easy when you're jabbing a guy and punching the guy and you're landing everything. Yeah. But what's hard in the transition to life is when you got to get back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really what
well put.
What this journey has taught me. I mean, you and I have shared a lot of personal stories, and we've been knocked around. So, the sport's been good to me, and I'm dying. It's my passion. It's not what my primary sources of income is now, but I want to give back. My plan for 2020 is to have a facility here in Southwest Florida.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Really, bro?
Yeah. Yes.
Good for you, man. Go for it.
We looked at a space last week and signed a letter of intent. Billy's aware. He knows. He supports me fully. But you've met my better half. You've seen her fight in the gym?
I don't know.
No, she's a pro fighter.
Oh, you know what? I think when you come in the mornings.
Yes.
Yes.
That's my
I
better
have.
half.
Yeah, I could tell she strikes well.
Yeah,
She knows how to do it.
she can. You want to talk about kicking power? Females can kick hard.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say they don't. I don't
Bro,
want to run into a female
She can
fighter.
punch and kick harder more than most men I've been.
Yeah,
been in the ring with.
I've seen her hit the bags.
Yeah. So I have some videos of her Billy sparring. I'll show you afterward. Some lady Billy will tell you had come to Billy's from the Wild Card gym, Freddie Roach's place.
Sure.
And she wanted some sparring, and
She went with your wife?
Jillian put it on her pretty good.
Yeah?
I'll show you the videos after, but it's pretty good.
Oh, it's too bad we couldn't get it on the TV. Huh?
Yeah, I have the videos.
We'll get that working down the road.
Yeah,
so
I'll send it over, and then you can post it to follow up from this.
Yeah.
So our goal is to do it to give back from what I've learned, but it's going to be a cross of think of exercise boxing meets functional training.
Oh, okay.
She's big into like functional training, kind of what not so much CrossFit, but like what F45 does and stuff like that.
You ever hear of Nick Curson?
No.
Okay.
No. So we want to have a gym where we can, we embody what you and I are discussing.
Yeah.
And give people a class structure as opposed to, we're more engulfed in real old school boxing gyms.
Get in there.
And this is more for stay-at-home moms and professionals that want to learn, but can benefit from the years of beatings of guys like you and I that we took.
That's where the money's at.
It is, but more importantly, when you do your passion, you're not working. You feel like you're on vacation.
Yeah, but you still need the money to come in to keep it going.
You need to keep milk on the table, as
Yeah,
my old man once said.
Yeah. So it's a good demographic over here. So I think it'll pan out for you really well.
Number 3 healthiest city in the country?
It was number 1 about 3 years ago.
Really?
4 years ago. Yeah.
So
I looked it up and I was like, Naples? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so small too.
Yeah, I think Madison was up there at the time. Madison, Wisconsin.
You know what I've noticed about Southwest Florida and Naples is, I'm from the north, and a lot of exposure training in some of the bigger boxing cities with my amateur career. Colorado Springs, Pittsburgh, certainly Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Name state. I mean,
Yeah, Hall of Fame
Hall
city.
of Fame city. New York City, obviously, Chicago, St. Louis. There is a lot more exposure here to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA than there is up
Are you
north.
serious? That's what you notice?
That's the first thing I noticed. You'll see more BJJ schools down here.
Well, Damian Maya's got a school down here.
Oh, you have. I mean, there's so many. You have
What's it called? Medley? Is I think it's Medley. It's on Pine Ridge.
There's a bunch. There's a
Really?
bunch on Airport. There's 2 on Airport. I mean, there's a bunch of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu schools.
I want to get back into it, but my back is so messed up.
That's why I can't.
Yeah.
All the kicking and shots from boxing.
Yeah.
And I tried the functional training with Jillian, and I'm holding a bar and I'm doing a front squat. I couldn't stand straight for a month and a half. Now I know I'm getting older. I just turned 42, but I'm thinking I can't do it. There's just no way. I can't roll like I used to. And we had a lot of exposure to it early on with because my wrestling background.
Yeah.
And I gotta stand. I'm engulfed at this point.
Yeah.
In boxing.
I at my age now, I just want to do what I've always loved, which
How
is
long
boxing.
have you been boxing?
I haven't boxed before.
So
It's all been martial arts.
Oh, well, you still have
traditional karate. Yeah. But boxing, I just started up technical, actually learning the art, the sweet science when I got here.
Was it with Billy or?
Yeah, with Billy.
Wow.
Yeah, I messed around on my own.
No, yeah.
In martial arts school, when you're sparring, you're always, all right, let's just box.
That's like it tag though.
Yeah.
Sparring. I mean, that's we used to. Not to take a shot at you guys, but we'd be in the ring. We'd see the Kumite poster go up for point sparring. I'm going, what is that? And he goes,
well, we put gear on. We go at it.
Yeah.
We messed around, but you're right. It's different.
Well, it's a different game.
Yeah, it's another monster, and I love it.
You're good at it.
I don't know yet. I told Billy, I said, is there any other 55-year-olds that want to,
They have
that actually want to compete?
They have a master's division for that.
I heard. That's what he told me.
You should go.
I told him I want to do it.
Yeah.
So
The main one, actually, the championship, right before I left Pittsburgh, the gym I was training out of, it was strictly a boxing gym. They had 2 Masters Nationals champion. I want to say it's in Kansas, where ringside,
oh sure.
their headquarters, they hold it there every year. But you have to.
That
you
would
have to
be
go through
cool.
the code. Yeah, we'll go. I'll go. I'll be there for sure. I will be there for sure. That'll be fun to watch.
Now, are you competing at all?
No,
You're done?
I'm done.
Come on, man.
I'm done. 3 broken noses, 6 cracked ribs.
Rocky Balboa did it.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. But
Let's call your Mickey.
I didn't amass the millions that Rocky amassed.
Right.
No, I think it was
Billy
$1,200
Billy can be your Mickey.
He wanted me when I first got here. When I first got to Billy, he said, "Let's take a fight in Boston. Let's get you back." I said, at that point I was 40.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "You still have it." I said,
Bro, I see it. I think you should. Why not? You're done.
No, I'm done.
We can't talk him out of it. Come on.
"No, I'm
man.
done. I'm done. It hurts too much. I can't recover."
I know.
like
I
used to."
know. I think I sparred.
I saw you. I was there that day.
No, it wasn't even that day. It was another day. I remember when you were there. Somebody caught me in the ribs, and that hung around for a while. I was like, all right, that shouldn't be like that.
No.
Now, if I really got in the ring and somebody let loose for a few rounds, 3 rounds.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the Masters division is like.
3 2-minute rounds.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can walk through that.
Oh yeah.
You can walk through that.
What was that one
I would
movie with De Niro?
Raging Bull?
No, way after.
Oh, you want to talk about a beauty there?
Yeah, no. Where he boxes, but he's in his 60s, and he faces, I think, was it Rocky or was it Sylvester
Was this
Stallone?
a comedy?
No, I
Yeah,
do remember that.
they had a movie.
They had a movie. It didn't do very well though.
Is it a comedy?
No, but I think
Yeah, it was
It
a
better
comedy.
be a
has to
comedy.
be
It
two
was
old
a
guys
comedy. It
duking
was
it
a
out
comedy.
like that.
Yes, and they were in Vegas.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that movie.
I forget what. No, it was a good movie.
It was good?
No, it was a legit good movie that was made. But my critic, being critic.
Yeah. No, you don't even want to waste your time.
I'm gonna go thumbs down there. It's just I'm gonna go thumbs down there. I'm gonna go thumbs down.
So Masters is 2-minute rounds.
Right.
Oh.
Grudge match.
No.
Grudge match. That's it. Grudge match.
Oh yeah. Okay, come on, man. I ain't gonna watch a grudge match.
No.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 2-minute rounds with headgear. I think you could keep them on the end of your jab. It would be,
Yeah.
And then there's a 10-pound and a 5-year weight differential, I believe. So they can be within 10 pounds heavier or lighter than you.
Oh,
and
okay.
Within 5 years. So
No
they keep
kidding.
it- yeah. So it keeps it competitive. But I think you would be you're going to get a lot of old bouncers in your division, a lot of old tough man fighters.
Yeah.
And it'd be you move a lot more gracefully than the people I've seen in your weight class.
Well, that's what I would count on.
Absolutely.
That would be cool.
They should start a league for guys like me and Billy, an old pros league.
Yeah. That would but you don't even want to do it. So
I would do that.
why are you talking this
No,
nonsense?
I would do that. I would do that. If Billy would sign up, I would sign up.
Right.
Because we come from the same
Right,
area,
right.
And we travel around. But we tell some great stories. He's a gem of a guy. I like Billy a lot.
Oh yeah.
And he's from his hometown is 64 miles from my hometown.
Oh wow. Isn't that weird?
It was weird, and we had I knew who he was.
But you didn't know he was down here?
I never met him. I didn't know he was here. He knew who I was from my times fighting when I fought professionally and he fought professionally. And then the first gym I got here, I worked at a gym and I had left there and I said, "Oh my God, I know this guy." So I went to his gym and I said, and we knew 30 or 40 of the same people, and our paths had crossed 6 or 7 times, and we just never connected because I think he's 5 or 6 years. He's 30. I'm 42, so he's 6 years younger than me. So
36, I believe.
yeah, he came on the scene a little bit behind me.
Yeah.
But the guy that I told you about, my one of my really good friends growing up, Paul, who was a lightweight champ of the world, they knew each other very well.
Okay.
Because of their exposure at that level. Because at that point, when Paul segmented off he beat Pito Cardona to win the IBF lightweight champ, is when Billy's good friend Kelly Pavlik,
Yes.
great fighter,
Yes.
another one. I mean, Paul only lost one. When Paul lost his last fight before he retired, he was 2 fights away from tying Rocky Marciano's record, my friend.
Whoa.
So he had amassed, so
Is
Kelly,
this the guy with all the tats that you showed me? Okay.
yeah. He had amassed a very big record. So our gym, that's where I grew up from. and Billy knew who we were. So that path, and Kelly and Paul. So they came on the scene later. When they elevated to world championship status, that's when I fragmented to MMA.
I got you.
And Muay Thai and all of that. But,
was there something at that point for you that said, I'm more drawn to the whole Muay Thai MMA thing?
yes.
Wait, there was.
To me, when I had met Eric, and he had explained to me like what his qualifications.
So he was that influence.
He was that guy.
Okay.
So when we got in the ring, actually, it was his garage at the time. It was matted. I mean,
But it was nothing like a life event that.
No.
Okay, so it was an influencer.
He was the influence, and to this day, I mean, I believe he's 58 or 59 now. He can still go.
Yeah.
But he did actually. There was a MMA movie that was filmed in Pittsburgh. The guy fights his brother.
Oh, Warrior.
Eric.
The Warrior.
Eric is in that movie. Did all the fight choreography for that movie.
No kidding.
That was the guy.
I love that movie.
That's filmed in my hometown. I was supposed to be an extra in that movie,
Man.
and I had a fight. I had to leave. I had to go to St. Louis. I was going to be an extra in that movie.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah, that in my.
I thought that was a really good movie. Well put together.
So
Yeah,
there's
good
a
story.
scene in there I'll show you after of Eric. There's the first time the one brother gets back from the military, and he goes, "I want to spar." Remember, he gets in the ring and kicks.
Yeah.
His corner man is Eric.
No kidding.
That was the
all right.
guy.
I have to look now. I have that Blu-ray. I gotta check him out.
That's the guy.
That's what's his name? The big actor.
Yes, that
Tom
was
Hardy and
Tom Hardy.
Tom
Joel
Hardy. Yeah,
Edgerton.
Eric trained him, and that was, I would say, he is 95% responsible for the fighter I was and I am today. So all the techniques that I use, everything that I teach people. I mean, I train a lot of the Collier County Sheriff's Department. So does Jillian. She trains a lot of people. I've trained her for 3 years. All those, that's him.
Yeah.
If I show you a video when we're done of him hitting the bag, you're gonna go,
That's you.
that's you.
Yeah.
So he is. I mean, that's the influence. The style, the mindset when you're in there of, hey, whatever works. But the techniques of, the thing he would say to us is, let's not be traditional. Let's just play and come up with stuff that works, because that embodies what I said with Danny Inosanto and Bruce Lee. The JKD. It's it's a flow.
Yeah.
Let's flow.
Flow like water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was legit. It just, So then I started reading into his teaching and Bruce's teaching, and that really that mindset, that was a whole lifestyle.
Yeah, that's a
for me.
psychological warfare.
Yeah. So that changed my life. So to answer your question, it was Eric.
Yeah. Now, even with that big influence, and I take it you're happy you took that journey. Do you ever wonder, like, if I would have just stayed boxing?
Yeah.
Where would I have been
Yes.
with that?
I think, if I would have stayed the path that Paul did and stayed traditional with it, everyone wants to talk about their glory days and how good they would have been.
Sure.
I think I
But
would have.
that's the way we dream.
I would have. Yeah, I agree. But I think based on my skill set and what I've been able to accomplish in my career, I would have been a relevant professional in Western boxing. But I wouldn't change a thing when I go back, because there were so many things that it taught me.
Yeah.
About life and the journey.
Well, you don't need to go back. You can start again.
No, you keep just the third or fourth time. So by the time I'm done here today, I'm going to sign a contract.
Right, and I'll be your manager.
For the bare knuckle that Paulie Malignaggi just did in Miami. Yeah, the bare knuckle league.
Here, I got a question for you. Another fighter. Get a perspective from you. Bud Crawford. I had this conversation with Billy. Bud Crawford, Conor McGregor.
Oh, there's a crossover talk right now going on that they're going to fight.
In an MMA fight, who wins?
Well, a lot of people, I don't know if Billy shared this, and I don't even know if Billy knows this because he's a boxing guy, but Bud has a big background in wrestling.
Yeah, he did bring that up.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Bud knocks him out on the way in.
Woo!
I think that Conor, we all saw Conor's last fight. He likes to charge in. He's going to... But here's the thing that Conor's not used to. Bud can fight out of both leads. He'll switch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He
power.
does that right in the flow.
Right in the flow, and he'll throw a 1-2 and switch and bring the
Right.
other hand right behind it.
Right.
So if he switches leads and Bud understands the mechanics of the ground game, which he does, Bud will catch him on the way
See,
in.
I'm not even thinking ground. I'm thinking kicks.
Yeah, but I mean, we would be remiss to sit here and think that Bud's not going to get any world class kicking before he gets in that fight.
Yeah, he will, but it's not that easy.
No, but
What are they going to have? About 6 months to train for a fight?
probably. But the thing that you understand is Bud's a world class athlete.
Yeah, he is. He is. I mean, Billy even brought that up.
I mean, he's just an athlete, and all he does is train, and he raises his pit bulls and fish.
Yeah.
That's it. He's from Omaha. I want to say Omaha,
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
And I believe, you know, the MMA game from when we first transitioned from Hoist Gracie being everything went to the ground, everything went to the ground, everything went to the ground, to now it's all strikes. So, you know, I think that Conor tries to take it to the ground, and I think on the way in, Bud catches him. Bud's hands are ridiculously fast. So what Bud will do to offset the kicks is he'll break range.
Yeah, yeah.
And his wrestling background will be good enough that he'll be able to stuff a takedown. And then it's going to be hands and elbows. The only thing that I think stops it is if Conor catches him with a bow and a cut.
Yeah.
Maybe. And then if it goes into a boxing ring, Bud's going to knock him out. See, the one thing about Bud.
Yeah. If you're going box, I mean, Conor can box.
Yeah.
He can box.
He can box.
Yeah, for an MMA guy, he can box.
He's better than most. But Bud, to me, this is going to be a bold statement for you. Bud Crawford's a better boxer than Floyd Mayweather. Floyd's better defensively.
Yeah,
but
I would no. That's not a far stretch for me.
a lot of people get,
No, I'm not a big Floyd guy anyway. I mean, he was a fighter in his first half of his career. In the last 10, 12 years, he wasn't a fighter anymore.
best defensive fighter of our
I
time.
mean, he's got the shoulder rolled down and
That Philly, it's called the Philly shell, right?
yeah. I mean, it's just
he can roll it, and he's tough to
and
hit.
he's fast enough to counter.
And he's fast enough to counter. But Bud has power in both hands, so Bud will beat Conor to the punch or to the kick. So when I really think Bud stops him in both venues, boxing and MMA.
Well, definitely boxing. That's hands down.
Yes.
Billy said he's going to bet $1,000 on Bud to win an MMA fight.
Billy and I talked. He said, "Listen, if that fight happens, we're flying together."
That's what he said. He's going to Vegas.
Yeah, we're going to Vegas together. But I see Bud winning the fight.
Oh, so another okay.
But we're boxing guys, so we're
Yeah,
But,
but
I'm
still.
I'm an MMA guy. I'm a
Right, that's what I'm-
kickboxing guy. I don't think that, I don't think Bud's going to be able to do what he just did to the Cowboy. I don't think.
Oh,
excuse me,
no,
I don't
no.
think McGregor's going to be able to do that to Crawford. He's too slick.
No, I don't see that happening
No.
either.
No.
It would be, man, that would draw some money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which one would they do first? That's the question.
Bud said he wanted to do the MMA first to get it out of the way. I firmly believe if Bud beats him in MMA, there won't be a boxing match. McGregor won't do it.
I think he will.
You think he would still? Yeah.
There's a lot of money there. And plus, Conor, despite all his antics, he's an honorable guy. He always wants to get that loss, revenge.
Yeah. No. He'll
He does not want to have someone that has beat him without him coming back to get that victory.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I mean, he's gracious in defeat,
very much so.
which a lot of people wouldn't think he is. I mean, you lose to some scrappers like Nate, you just want to, but he was, that's what I like about Conor. He comes to fight and he'll fight anybody.
Yes.
I mean, listen.
He brings his lunch. I give him a lot of credit.
Yeah.
As you know, it takes a lot to get in there.
Yeah, you got to have stones.
Big metal stones.
That's just getting, what is it that they use in boxing at a heavyweight now? How many ounces are they using?
Well, I think it's up to 12 or 14.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. I know when I was there, when I was competing, we fought in 8 and 10s.
That's even small.
Yeah. I mean, the last fight I had was in New York. I fought with 10s, and I felt like I was using just wraps.
Yeah. And what MMA is 4 ounce, 6 ounce?
4 ounce. 4 ounce. So here's one I want to pose to you. And this is
Is this a hypothetical?
No. Well, hypothetical to a degree. And this goes way back. Is
Plead the fifth.
Ali versus Tyson.
Whoa.
And if you want me to give you my answer first, I'll give it to you. But I'm waiting.
Well, you look at Frazier and how he fought Ali. He knocked Ali silly. That jab was money. You look at Buster Douglas and who is Tyson with? Customato?
Customato and Ali's with Angelo Dundee?
I'm going to go with Mike.
I disagree.
I'm going with Mike.
And I'll tell you why. You know what Mike had the toughest time with was a good 1-2.
Yeah, it was Buster. Buster did it.
Yeah,
Same
but
with Holyfield.
Well, Holyfield did it, but
Yeah.
Mike was out to lunch when he was in Japan when he fought Buster. He was a space cadet. I mean, he was really going the other way. But people, you'll understand, but most people today that were Tyson fanatics don't realize how good of a chin Muhammad Ali had.
Oh, he did. He did. I mean, yeah.
I mean, he could really take a shot.
He was taking them from the big hitters back then.
Foreman could.
Didn't he Shavers?
Yeah. Ernie.
Ernie Acorn Shavers?
But George Foreman was the one that could really unload the lumber. I mean, you remember him just taking that. But I think Muhammad Ali knocks him out.
I can see that happening, though. See, I'm sort of teetering both ways, but I'd end up going with Mike landing one of those bombs.
Uppercuts or the
I just he was taking people out left and right, and if he's with D'Amato, he'll have his head on straight, 100% straight.
Yeah, I mean that's the difference to me of Mike Tyson and Joe Frazier. Joe could land a few and you could walk away. All it took for Mike was one.
Yeah, he'll clean your clock.
Yeah, you were done after one.
Man, that is an interesting one. That's an argument that goes on all the time.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, to me, obviously, in the boxing circles that I run around and we talk, the one that's most interesting that I got into recently was Sugar Ray Leonard and Floyd Mayweather.
The defense, man.
They're both.
Yeah.
But Floyd's fast, but Sugar Ray's hands were so fast.
Yeah, they were, man.
I mean,
I just saw a clip of Sugar Ray where he went off probably 30 or 40 punches in a row, and it was like, he didn't stop.
No, it was lightning.
They don't do that anymore.
No, they don't make him that way anymore. And you got to remember, he's an Angelo Dundee guy too.
Yes, he was.
So in my history of boxing,
I've always liked Dundee.
He was one of the best. So I actually think that, and I ruffle a lot of feathers here. I think Floyd Mayweather beats Sugar Ray Leonard. And I'm not a Floyd fan per se. Listen, I'm a fan.
What Floyd though?
Everyone, for conversation's sake, let's just say everyone at their peak.
Because he was at his peak, he was fighting De La Hoya.
Zab Judah.
Zab Judah
should have beat him, actually.
Yeah, he should have. Yeah.
That melee. You remember the fight afterward?
Yes,
yeah, that was a crazy fight. But I think Floyd's too tough to hit for Sugar Ray, for Ray Leonard at that time. To me, I'm not a fan of Floyd's antics or the way he carried, but strictly in the ring, he has to be.
He's a technical wizard.
The best defensive fighter of all time.
Yeah.
I can't argue with it.
Yeah, and his counter is amazing. That counter right.
It's just that.
It's just
that
right little slip right over the top. Yeah.
You know what he calls that? A snapback. Snapback. He doesn't move his feet.
No.
And he just shoots it right over the top.
Yes.
And he could land it at will.
And he does it to the body or the head.
Or the head.
Yeah.
And he'll hurt you with it.
Yeah.
So, but I think.
Yeah, you even see boxers where he's throwing that lead right to the body. They actually don't like it. They don't like that punch.
Hey, listen.
He gets them to drop their guard.
As you know, there is nothing worse than taking a body shot. I mean, it's like hemorrhoids of pain.
It stays with you.
And it lingers for 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Because you're sucking wind as you fight, and you're going, I can't breathe. My cup's too tight. I just want to get out of here. It's misery.
Every little thing bothers you.
Yeah, at that point, your hair hurts. Honestly, I mean, it's just, I've had so much pain that I can't even describe as fighting, that I can't describe that, your hands. But, one of the biggest things that I wanted to talk to you about is the stark contrast. And this is the question I had in my hip pocket for you. What is tougher to compete in? MMA, boxing?
Well, I think boxing is. I really do. I mean, you have to defend off a lot of different arts in MMA. Right. You have to know your wrestling. You have to know this and that and this. The boxer has one right hand and one left hand.
You were taking the words out of what I just said to someone.
Yeah, and that's it. That is it. And you got your right hand and left hand. Now you fill the gap.
Yep. You have to impose your will on that man with the same tools that he has.
Right.
So it's tougher. I know what's coming either way. I can either roll this way or
roll this way. Right.
But I'm going to hit you with my left hand. You stop me. If you can't stop me, I'm the better man. Now in MMA or kickboxing,
you have a plethora
I'll take you down. I'll kick you. I can whatever.
And then when I have you on the ground, I'm going to throw an elbow at you, this, that, and the other. Yeah, I think boxing.
Strictly
They're
'cause
they're both. I mean, they're both great, entertaining sports. I love them. I just do.
yes,
But I'm a purist for boxing.
me too. I'm the same way. We're old school though.
Yeah.
The generations today want that more action. They don't. To me, it really is a science of moving and thinking 2 steps ahead. So if I drop my left hand, I want to suck him for a trap. You have to set traps because you can only use your left hand and your right
Right.
hand.
What's in my feint going to do to him?
Right.
Wait, how's he react?
It's going to be an uppercut, a hook, or a jab.
Right.
A right hand. I mean, this is it. There's only 3 or 4 variations of the shot.
You got a couple tools in the box and
That's it.
do what you will with it.
No,
Yeah.
and it just takes a lot of planning. So it's a different game. I don't think it's as appreciated as it once was because of the exposure to MMA.
Well, MMA came in at the right time.
There was a void needed.
Yeah.
But you had that golden era of boxing.
You did.
Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler, Hearns, Boom Boom Mancini. I mean,
Even the heavyweights. Well, who was the heavyweights at that time?
You had Larry Holmes. You had
Well, Larry Holmes was sort of a boring champ, but that guy's jab was incredible.
Yes.
I mean, and unless you box, you can't appreciate it because he was boring.
He was, and that's why he wanted to beat you with the jab.
Yeah.
But he was so fast for being such a big man.
Yes.
But that whole era, Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler, Hearns, and then you had like Tommy Morrison, David Tua, and that generation between that ending when Hagler and Hearns kind of waned, and then you had Tyson, you had a void,
Yes.
and it was really boring,
Yes, it was.
crappy boxing.
Yep.
For me to say and for you
And
to
as
say.
the heavyweight division goes, so does boxing.
So, because that's everyone wants to see the one punch knockout. That's what. And MMA was able to deliver the choke,
Yeah.
the strike knockout. I mean, if you remember, and I hate to say this, but as you know, motion pictures have a great deal of influence
Yeah.
on public opinion and popularity of sports. You had Rocky in the 80s, which spawned and came around what we call the golden era of boxing.
Yep.
And then you had Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, Bloodsport,
right.
which ushered in the UFC.
Yeah.
So to me, it filled a void. It did come at the right time, but now I think it's kind of convoluted. You have Bellator, you have the UFC, you have the boxing, but
You have one out in Japan now?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, the waters are muddied
Yeah.
to me. So obviously, my discernment, my first love's boxing.
Yeah.
I want to watch boxing, but it came at the right time. But now I think it's kind of muddled up.
Yeah, I know it's muddled up because I'm spending about $200, $250 on pay-per-views every month.
Have the DAZ Zen subscription now.
Yeah, I have that, ESPN Plus. I mean, that's nice. I like that. What is it, DAZN or DAZN
yeah.
or whatever?
They're signing the big contract. That's where Canelo is and all
Yes.
these other guys.
I sort of like that, but in order to get good fights, sometimes it just doesn't pan out well because it's cross-promoting.
But what I was getting at, what really big fights are there to be had now, boxing-wise?
Well, you like the heavyweight division.
I don't.
Really?
I don't.
Come on. Tyson Fury? I mean,
I really don't like him.
okay, but Wilder Fury going at it.
Yeah. Okay. You got one guy that is going to try and land a monster right hand. That's all he wants to do. It's all
And
he
will
has to-
he?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the same thing.
Yeah. And
I think Fury's gone this
and
time.
Fury, I think Fury gets stopped.
Yeah, I do too. I think he gets
stopped.
knocked out.
Yeah, he gets knocked out. He gets knocked
The
out.
big trees
The
going
big
down.
tree.
I love the guy. I'm not a big fan of his boxing,
No.
but
I like his. Listen, he's.
I
good
like
for
his
the sport.
story.
The story's good. He's good for
Yeah.
the sport.
yeah,
I love hearing him get interviewed because some of the things that he says.
yeah, he's entertaining.
It just defies rational thinking.
Did you see his story though?
Yes.
Good
yes.
Lord.
Yeah, he went through it.
I mean, this guy was a big boy.
See, he would have had exposure. What people don't know is he would have had exposure early on. He was in Emmanuel Stewart's camp at the Kronks gym in Detroit before Manny got sick and died.
No kidding.
So he was sparring in Detroit earlier,
I didn't know
and then
that.
he went back.
Okay.
So if Emmanuel Stewart, who trained Lennox
Yeah.
Lewis, was a very, very,
Trained a lot of.
That's the Eddie Futch tree.
Yeah.
That's very
Eddie Futch, sure.
very, very. We're talking historic Hall of Fame guys.
Yeah.
And very sound technicians. He was in that camp because, think about Hearn. That's who Manuel Stewart trains Hearn. He loved a long, tall guy that could keep you. He would have trained you, keep you out on the outside. That was his deal. Tyson Fury trained with him early on, was in a fight camp for a pro fighter. Manuel Stewart was planning to, give him that exposure. But then when Manuel Stewart got sick and died, he went back to England and, I think he went through it. He went through some things.
Yeah, he did. So this is after he beat Klitschko then? Or was this before he beat Klitschko?
He was in Klitschko's camp because Manuel Stewart trained Klitschko.
Oh, okay. God, that guy was boring.
He held the belt. That killed boxing to me.
Yeah, that you are right, man.
That killed the heavyweight division for a decade.
Vitaly and Vladimir.
Which one was better?
Who knows?
Who held the belt longer?
They look.
They were twins.
I don't even know which one was better. Yeah, I have no idea.
They were twins.
They both could fight.
No,
but they were boring.
They were 6'7". They could throw a 1-2.
Yeah, well, they were champions for a long time.
But the division was so bad. But
You
anyway,
still got to beat these guys.
I agree, but the division was just so bad.
It's not what you wanted it to be, but they did what they had it done. Who is it? Vladimir? Vitaly. One of them.
It was Vladimir.
One's a doctor.
Really?
God's sakes. Yeah. Yeah, they're super smart.
Yeah, I knew they.
I don't know. I shouldn't say, okay, you're super smart because you're a doctor. It's just they are very intelligent guys.
No, they were super intelligent guys.
Yeah,
I
know a
think they
lot
were
of
listening.
languages
Yeah,
and the
different
whole
languages.
deal.
Yeah, whole thing. But the point was, I just wanted to see what super fights were. What super fights are there to be made today, like we had back in the day?
Well, yeah. There's no rivalries. Boxing's different in that way, though.
There's no bad guy anymore. Like
No.
Floyd was the bad guy that everyone wanted to see. People would say, "I'll pay to see him get beaten."
Oh yeah, I was one of them.
So was I.
Yeah, heck yeah,
We don't have that guy anymore.
I thought Canelo in his young years would do it. That was my hope. Manny when he fought, gosh, that was a letdown.
Yeah, but Floyd drug him out to late waters.
Yeah,
that
he
fight should have happened a lot earlier. They did that. He cried about the growth hormone testing.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to fight him.
I was just talking to somebody about that. Maybe it was Billy. I don't know if that was on the podcast.
He drug it out, and if he would have fought Manny, then it's a different story. I think
Have him fight him now.
they won't. Manny will fight him. Floyd won't fight him.
Yeah.
Floyd, and he'll say, "I already beat him." He doesn't want to fight him.
Well, he doesn't need to.
No, he just did.
He just beat him.
Did you see the BS exhibition he did in Japan?
Yeah.
He made like $10 million.
$9 million.
$9 million.
Yeah.
It was a farce.
Yeah.
The
The guy had no business being in there. None.
None.
But it was for Japan. Those guys pay money.
Big.
I know when Pride was going on, they're paying lots of money and letting them do whatever they want.
What was Ken Shamrock's deal over there? Was it Pride? Do you remember Ken Shamrock?
Yeah. No, it was probably Pride.
Because it was
most
shoot
of those
fighting.
most of those guys were out of Pride.
Yeah, that was really big over there.
I think one is somewhat the same thing.
They fight in the ring though.
Oh, do they fight in the ring? That's like Pride.
Yeah, it's in the ring. It's not in an octagon. They fight in the ring.
And they let you kick on the ground.
Yes.
The whole deal.
Yes, it's anything goes.
That's a little Fedor action right there.
Would you be up for that?
Kicking somebody on the ground?
No, I mean, would you throw your hat? Younger years, let's say, would you throw your hat in that ring and go at it in that?
And
dimension?
with those rules?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Man, I'd hate to get hit and I just flop on the ground and
Yeah. Someone asked me the other day, and I don't. It's like
somebody's soccer kick.
Soccer kick. I was just gonna say. Someone asked me the other day. I said, I don't know, because I've been caught with a few that knocked me silly, and if you slip up, they can jump on you.
Oh yeah.
And
I think they even allow 12-6 elbow strikes.
Yeah. No, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I think those were the rules that are different than UFC. Yeah.
So, but I just don't think in today's boxing era, right now, I don't think there's any super fights to be made. The one they just had was Earl Spence and Mikey Garcia, which really wasn't that good because Earl's so much bigger than Mikey.
Yeah,
didn't have a
he
shot.
climbed up a couple weight divisions.
Two
for
or
that.
three.
Yeah.
But from a technical standpoint, Mikey.
Oh, he's the man too.
He's the
Yeah.
best. His brother who trains him, Robert, was really good.
Yeah. What about Lomachenko? You don't like him?
I do like Billy. Doesn't like him.
Yeah, I know. I've talked to him about.
He thinks he's soft. I think Linares should have beat him, and Lomachenko.
Well, when he knocked him down, I was like, whoa.
Because Linares is a rangy guy.
Yeah.
But the one I want to see, the only super fight, what I was getting at, the only super fight we have is Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen yet.
They're working on it.
Errol don't want to fight him.
No, I think he does, but I think it's more of a top-ranked matchroom. It's more of a promotional headache.
Who do you have in that one?
Oh, man, Billy asked me the other day.
I got Bud.
Bud's getting older.
I don't care.
Bud's meaner, though.
But yes.
Bud has that mean streak.
Bud's nice outside of the ring, and then boom, he's a monster.
When that switch goes, did you hear the story about Bud's mom? He was bad. He was a bad kid.
Yeah, he used to fight in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
She
would pay people to try and beat him up.
Yeah, I think Billy was telling me that.
And no one, it was on TV, and no one could beat him.
Yeah.
So the man knows how to fight, and he has that mean streak. So I do think that
You got that Kimbo mentality in the street.
Kimbo.
Fights, trying to make a living.
Kimbo.
Yeah.
Were you a Kimbo fan?
I was. It was entertaining.
That was a good story.
Yeah. I mean, a guy coming off of the internet
Yeah.
and making it in the UFC.
Did you see any of
His
this?
son's going pro, right?
His son.
His son is in the UFC, I think.
He did.
Or at
go pro.
Bellator. I'm not
It
sure.
was Bellator. He won his first fight.
Yeah.
I saw that.
I saw him lose too, I think.
He got submitted.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I think he got hit with an armbar early in a fight.
Yeah.
Don't quote me.
I'm rooting for stories like that. It's feel good stories. I don't mind that.
Yeah, but
Is it a a joke to the organization? No, I don't think so.
no, I don't think.
Got to bring fans. You
I-
got to have some stories.
I think the storyline moving forward, what I'm hoping for is kind of what Connor started, is the crossover.
Oh yeah.
To me, that's super interesting.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, one of these MMA guys is going to catch a boxer and put him to sleep in a boxing match.
I can see it happening.
Well, I mean, as you know,
But if it's champion against champion kind of thing,
yes.
I don't know, man.
Hey, listen, as you know,
It can happen.
It takes one.
Yeah, it can happen.
And
A heavyweight.
especially in the bigger
Yeah.
weight classes, because
Yeah.
they can bring the leverage. But the thing is, as we talked on early on in our conversation, the Thai guys and the MMA guys, their striking is becoming so much more proficient than
Yeah.
it once was, that I think sooner or later one of the and I think the athletics of a boxer, as you know, you have to be super athletic to
Yeah.
move around the ring.
Yeah.
I mean,
Your footwork. Has
your
to be
footwork, but
on the dime.
throw your left hand, you have to have your right hand up. You have to, right? You know, it's a lot of moving parts to that. It's not just going in there and playing gladiator.
Right.
They're athletic. They're athletes. All these guys are athletes. But one of the crossovers, someone's going to beat someone, and I think that's going to amass a new. In my head, would amass a new league of like the Champions League. We can get the boxers versus the MMA.
Oh,
champions.
Zuffa boxing. They're not doing that for just because they want to just get into boxing alone.
Right.
I think there's a bigger puddle there.
Yeah, I think there's a picture. I agree with you actually. But
Yeah, I think there's going to be some stuff on the horizon, and Dana's totally excited about it. What I'd like to see is Bellator, UFC 1, those three, have some sort of
Dude, no,
champion versus champion.
you know, the age-old argument with that is the level of fighters, the quality fighters in the UFC supersedes that and everyone else. Do you agree with that, or do you disagree?
I'm not. I don't. I disagree. And they may be more talented, but they can still lose.
Agreed.
You know, I mean, I think you match up anybody in the UFC. You can have one guy, Bones Jones. He's
Right.
fighting this
Fighting
weekend.
this weekend. Who do you have in that fight? By
He
the
could
way?
lose to Reyes.
I don't think so.
I'm not gonna. I'm not. I said he could. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna bet against Jones by any means.
No.
You know, the guy's never lost.
No.
But Reyes, southpaw.
They're tough to deal with.
Yeah, he's
South,
tall.
You southpaws. It's all bad.
I'm not a southpaw.
So you switch back and forth?
I do.
I'm the same way.
I like Bud.
As in, you know, I learned that actually. That's a Thai thing. They force you to fight out of both leads. And I got to tell you, coming from Western boxing, you know, you have 6 years of being traditional. I'm throwing 1, 2, 3, and then you got to learn how to switch leads.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you add footwork and kicks to that.
Yep.
You want?
Yep.
I mean, it all goes out the window.
It is, and it's. I just started doing it with Billy because it was my right shoulder. No, it was my left shoulder because I couldn't throw a left hook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was like, all right, I'm not going to throw, southpaw. I'm not going to lead with the hook or.
So you switched. So what's your predominant hand? If
My
you
right.
have a,
My right.
that's your dominant hand?
Yeah.
So you're a traditional left lead.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was always curious.
Yeah.
You know, I can write and throw with either hand. I could as a kid. So
Oh no, I can't.
I could do that.
Yeah. There's a different name for that other than appendixus.
I was just gonna say-
it's something else. They don't say because they can both be dominant.
Uh-huh.
It's a different name. I
Really?
can't. Yeah, I learned that.
We have to look that one up.
Yeah.
We have to look that one up.
Oh man. Yeah, but I love. I actually love southpaw.
So do I.
I just don't have the power in my left.
I have a sneaky move to show you next time we're in the gym together. An old school Tony Tarantino sneaky move.
I want to know.
I got you. So my question, the question is though, do you think the talent level in the UFC supersedes the other?
I don't. Well.
Because a lot of these guys, if you watch some of the fights in Bellator, I mean, they'll have a strictly kickboxing or Thai segment in Bellator.
Yeah.
And then they'll have their MMA. Some of the guys in the quieter, smaller Eastern European towns, some of these guys are really tough.
Yeah, they are. There's Russian fighters.
Yeah, there's some Russian fighters, some Eastern, Bulgaria. You have guys from Macedonia.
I'd have to say UFC. The pool is it's
Well, that's where the money is, so it's going to attract the biggest fish. But
but my question is UFC really paying a significant amount more than Bellator? Because I heard Bellator isn't that bad. It's
Really?
just you're not in the UFC. You're not in the.
they don't have that exposure with the pay-per-view in the Vegas.
Right.
Because, now at UFC's that's ESPN.
Right.
So that's big
Yeah.
coin.
Yeah.
So to me, they're going to they're forced to pay more because of the exposure. But the question I have is the pool of fighters. Is it like the NFL and like the XFL, which is coming out?
I don't know if that even would be fair because it's sort of like NFL A, NFL B.
Yes.
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 Because I think these guys can win on any given night.
I would like to see, and because of the finances of the whole thing, it'll never happen. I truly think if they could merge them together and we could get one clear-cut world champion for one belt in one division and let everyone chase these guys.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
Not in our lifetime.
That's two business models being shot.
Yeah, I was just going to say the financials aspect of that will never occur.
It would be interesting. It really would.
No,
But you look at football back in the day. It was the NFL, then the AFL came around. And the NFC, and then the AFC came around, and now it's the Super Bowl, where it used to just be a championship.
That's right. So who was your team growing up?
Green Bay.
You can't
We're from Wisconsin, man.
That's right. I got to tell you something interesting about Wisconsin, and I don't know if it's real prevalent there or not. So I had a fight in Chicago, and we had gone to Wisconsin, but I was introduced to something called a Kringle.
Those are great, bro.
So I had, like when you get kicked or punched in the liver, I ate one, and it was like life-changing for me. I'm going, what is this?
Bro, I'll get you some.
It was like a Danish with a pie.
Oh, dude, they're super good.
You know what that is?
I have no idea.
You have to.
Yeah. They actually had one in Estero. That Kringle from. I had one like a couple miles from my house.
Really?
Yeah, a store that did that. They had one in Estero. That was from Wisconsin.
Yes.
They had a store here.
Yes.
And it's no longer here.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, because when we were visiting a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, we saw it in Estero, and we're like, Kringle's here. Yeah, that's money. But yeah,
After the
that
fight,
is well known up there. Kringles are really popular up there.
I had no.
Every football game, you'll
Kringle.
find a Kringle.
Brother.
Yeah. Wait, you know what you guys don't have down here that I found out? Taco dip.
We have that in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
We have
Well,
it.
yeah, I could see that being a mid.
taco dip?
What's taco dip?
You know
Dude,
what
that's,
taco dip is?
that's like an automatic football
That's a
meal.
tailgating thing. for us.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We were asking people here, and we're like, you don't know what because we could never find them at stores.
They don't. Used to get. They would be pre-made. There was a
Yes.
store in Pittsburgh. It was called Giant Eagle. But every Sunday they would have taco dip
Yep.
and the big cookie cakes.
Oh,
And And the you know what Permane Brothers sandwich is? So in
No.
Pittsburgh, we're famous for sandwiches. So it's Italian bread, sweet and sour coleslaw. So not coleslaw in the traditional way that you would think with creamy. It's oil and vinegar. It's Italian coleslaw. Oil and vinegar and garlic salt, right?
Oh, that sounds good.
Capicola, which is Italian ham, and French fries
In the sandwich?
on the sandwich.
That's what kids do.
That's what Pittsburghers do.
Oh,
I gotta
that's
tell
awesome.
you, there's nothing better before a football game or at 4 o'clock in the morning after a night of drinking. Bro.
Oh, yeah. I can see that, right.
It erases the hangover.
The vinegar and the garlic.
Oh, yes. I mean, hopefully you don't take home a girl from the bar that night.
Yeah, right.
And you're eating a sandwich and you want to give me a kiss, and that's not happening.
What else is Pittsburgh known for besides their Steelers?
Steel, the foundation. Andrew.
Still?
Yeah, Andrew Carnegie. Well, now Steel has moved to Cleveland and in Chicago more so, but now it's a Google and a tech hub. Pittsburgh was, believe it or not, people don't know this, was the first liver transplant in the country was at the University of Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Their medical care.
You surprised me with the Google.
Yeah, big Google hub there. Carnegie Mellon University, which is world renowned, is stationed there.
So if I went to Pittsburgh, where would I go? Where would I go to eat?
Oh, what kind of food? There's a big Italian population. There's a big Polish population. So, do you know what pierogies are?
Yeah.
Big pierogies. There's another thing called halushki, which is noodles, cabbage, and butter.
Noodles, cabbage.
So
and,
wide
oh, my
egg-
goodness. Are you kidding me?
No,
That just gave me a stomach ache.
Oh no, it's unbelievable. I'm Italian, but we love it. So you would go anywhere in the city's beautiful, but the kind of food you can't miss with the Italian food there. Now, my better half, her family owns an Italian restaurant here. They're from Queens.
In Naples?
In Naples.
Really?
It's
What's the
called
name of it?
Rosedale Brick Oven.
Where is it?
It's on Pine Ridge and Goodlet.
That's
on the corner.
right here.
Yeah. You know where Starbucks is in the bowl?
Yeah.
Right next to it. That's her
Oh,
restaurant.
really?
That's
I'll
her
have to
family.
check it out.
Yeah, actually. It's on the
Oh, yeah, there you go. You're doing your thing.
So, she likes Pittsburgh food, the Italian food in Pittsburgh, better than anywhere else. And she's from Queens, New York, and her family owns an Italian restaurant.
No kidding.
So there's an Italian restaurant called La Familia.
Huh?
This isn't after the restaurant.
I was going to say, all right.
In Pittsburgh.
Shout out.
We're going there for Valentine's Day.
In Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh.
Nice.
So
It's in a week.
Friday.
Nice.
So we, I said, what do you want for me? Because her birthday's the week after. I could really get dinged. Think about this now.
Yeah, you're putting it together.
Now I have Christmas, okay?
Right.
Then I have her birthday.
Couple-
No, then I have Valentine's Day. Then a week later I have her birthday.
6-8 weeks. Boom.
Like,
Yeah.
just
The
helped
wallet just took a hit.
Oh, brother, it just the year end. I hope
It's
I have
all
a
good,
year.
bro.
Yeah, so
You got to do that stuff.
I agree.
You
I
know,
agree.
you can't miss it unless you both agree. And this is what my wife and I do. We both agree. All right, we're not getting anything for Christmas. Promise? Promise. We both promise.
Mm-hmm.
But you still got to do it. You still got to pull one out.
The thing for me that she says is the trash needs to go out, but I'll do it. And she says, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. I said, okay. 15 minutes later, you going to take the trash out? I said, I thought you just told me I don't have to do it. See, that's what I wanted you to think. I wanted to see if you were going to do it.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, are we soon to be wrapping up, Big J? I call him. I got all kinds of nicknames for Big Poppy, Big J over
I like
here.
Big J.
Do you like Big J?
Yeah.
Big J.
Yeah. I actually have to wrap it up.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up. You know what? Before we wrap it up, tell him he's got to come by and sign up at Billy's.
You have to come by so
I do.
Jeff and I can beat the crap out of you. You need to sign up at Phillies.
Oh, yeah, you
It's
can
gonna
hit the
happen.
bags and...
I'm worried about my liver now.
Yeah.
popping it up.
Actually, instead of just punching you in the liver, I'll give you a tie kick to your leg. We can watch the same facial. It's the same facial expression.
Yeah, I want your rear end to open up like a flame of fire like
Yeah.
mine did.
It's like someone stabbing you in the neck.
We'll get Big J in there.
Yes.
Hey, bro, appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.
Let's do this
This
again.
was fun. I'll be more than happy.
You
to
know
come
what we should
anytime.
do? After a couple fights, regroup and talk about
I'm in.
the heavyweights.
I'm in.
All
I'm
right?
in. Thank you so much.
All right, brother. You got it.
God bless you guys.
All right. We're out of here.
It's a wrap.
Thank you.